Right. So before going to start learning Python programming, few important things about the programming and all. So first one, so what is the importance of learning programming? So programming is used to develop applications. So once you are good at the programming part, by using programming, so we develop applications. We develop applications. Here, so what type of applications we can develop? So different types of applications we can build using programming language. So mainly here it is. Suppose if you are developing one application, let us take a banking application, is web application. Web application we are taking, server side application. So either it is a banking application, is a web application, or any application is a later. So what is the purpose of application? So we need to understand. Every application is for two simple reasons only. Suppose if you say, if it is a banking application, all the account holders information, it will store. Customers information, they will maintain. And whenever we are doing the transactions, they will update that information. So every application for two reasons only. One is what? Store information. Store information. Second one is just perform operations on information. Only for these two reasons only we use applications. For example, if you take a WhatsApp, so WhatsApp is also, they will store the information. Operations means what? Sending the information, retrieving the information, deleting the information. In the same way, banking application also, if you take, whenever the customer want to take the account, so they will create the account. Whenever the customer performing the transactions, they will update the details. Whenever the customer don't want to maintain the account, they will delete that information. So every application for these two reasons only. So where they will store the data permanently means what? In a database, they will store the data. First, I'm explaining about the web application, and remaining things also I'll explain. They will store the information permanently in a database. In database, right? All the records they will store in the record format, nothing but into the table, into tables they will store. Into tables they will store. Suppose is a account information. So they will use a table name is an account. In MySQL database connectivity, we will discuss all these things. Account number, account holder name, suppose balance. But how to perform all these operations? We should have the knowledge of DBMS. The well-known name to everyone is SQL. You need to learn concepts of SQL, one database management system, to do all the database operations. I want to create the account. I want to insert the record. I want to update the data. I want to retrieve the data. I want to delete the data. That is. But see, who will use the bank application means what? Programmers never use applications. Bank application used by either employees of the bank or customers. Those who took account from the bank will use. Employees don't have the knowledge of SQL to insert the data directly. In the same way, customers also. So directly, they cannot do all the database operations, because if you want to become an employee in a bank, or if you want to take the account from the bank, no need to learn SQL classes. No need to attend SQL classes. That's the reason we need to prepare user interface for everyone. Every application used by user interface only. User interface only. It's a UI. It's a UI. For example, if you want to pay amount from your Paytm, we use the Paytm app. So what you open that application is called user interface. That screen is called user interface. How can we prepare that user interface? Using UI technologies, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Little more advanced, React or Angular. Here we use a React. To develop the user interface, we always use this React. It's a user interface. Okay. In user interface, now we are using, for example, I just want to create account. So one customer entered into the bank. The customer want to take the account. So the customer will ask the employee, I want to take the account. Then employee will give that form, fill this form. After fill this form, it will submit to the back to the employee. Then employee will open the user interface. Just any name, so on. So www dot some bank name like this. Application will be ready. Here we are providing the create account form. Create account form. Here we give some details. Enter account number. It will be generated automatically. Enter account holder name. Next one, enter balance in account. Like this we ask. If more details, the more options we provide here. And simply one button we give here for creating. That is. Here it is account form we are creating. This is what user interface. So employee will fill all these details here. Account number, account holder name, and some balance in account. Once they click on create, it has to go and store into this database. But from UI, user interface, there is no direct connectivity with the database. There is no direct connectivity with the database. Here, in between, there is a program, is a server-side program. That server-side program only we are using is Python program. Python. So Python is responsible for whenever they click on create, is responsible for taking the input from this HTML. First one is taking input from the user. Second one is what? It has to store in the database. So it will establish the connection. It will establish connection. It will connect to this SQL. Once connection is ready, then they will insert the data. That record will be inserted. What all the details they mentioned here, the details will go and store into the database. All the details will store. Of course, we need to write the logic, but how to write the logic and all, first theory. Right? Once successfully inserted, whether inserted successfully or failed for any reason, we need to display. Account creation is a success, or for any reason, if it is failed, why the reason is a failed. Why the reason is failed. So this is the simple way of creating. So every application, so not only a Python application, Java, .NET, PHP, anything, Only server side code will change. Here, Python programmers use Python, Java programmers use Java, .NET programmers use .NET, UI developers use Express.js, PHP developers use a PHP. That's it. Only the backend implementation, server side program only will change. Database will not change. SQL concepts only. Front end will not change. HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In case of React, they use some of the people use Angular also. Anything. So every application, simply every web application has three areas. Simply to say three layers. One is a presentation layer. One is a presentation layer that is called user interface. The second one we can call it as business layer. This is the main layer, is a server side programming. Third one is a database layer. Database layer, that is only database management system. We need to learn these three things. So after completion of learning Python, but directly, no need to learn all these things. First for all, the important things are Python and the database connectivity is a SQL.